All right, good morning guys, survival living here. So out here in the greenhouse, kind of checking everything out. Did some late night watering. Just didn't get into the greenhouse in time when I got off work yesterday, so everything's good and watered. Kind of want to do a little tour of what we got going on here. There's a couple things I've learned so far having this greenhouse. One, extra PVC piping. I do recommend getting that. Yeah, build the frame with lumber. That way you can anchor down your greenhouse. This is the cheap Amazon greenhouse. Run you some holes through your bottom board. Put some rebar on the ground. She ain't going anywhere. But this PVC piping, this is 1/2-inch PVC piping. I recommend it. Just helps tighten up the additional hoops. We got a total of 4, making 2 hoops. Seems to be working great. Something I do want to talk about is these little cell pods I bought at Walmart. So this is what I'm talking about here. This done sides gave out and fell over. Could have damaged the plant, as you can see. Again, I had purchased these when we first started, and I get what they're designed for. They're designed to start deteriorating when the plant comes up. You put it into your ground or what other containers, and they're biodegradable. The cost of these versus the cost of styrofoam cups is a huge difference. And most of the plants that I have, they'll start punching through. Let's see if this is watermelon here. Yeah, it starts punching through, which is what it's designed for. But if you're always working all the time, you don't have time to get to those. So I'm not going to be recommending these here, guys. I'm really liking the styrofoam cups. To be honest, they seem to work very well. This is sunflower here. I just take a screwdriver and punch holes through the bottom, or right on the side. I don't do the very bottom because water's really not going to go anywhere. But every time I grow, even outdoors, out in the ground, I like putting sunflowers not near my plants because they'll strip a lot of nutrition out of the ground. But they're heavy pollinators, in my opinion. Every time I put these out, I brought in more honeybees, bumblebees. So I like having those in the garden or around the garden area. But yeah, a whole bunch of these sunflowers. Broccoli is doing nice. I will be thinning these out later. When I mean thin, when I see the healthiest plant, we'll just be lopping off the other ones. Got a cucumber starting to come up. One of the things I do want to discuss, there's a green bean. Yeah, that's a vine one. I saw comments from people that do gardening stuff, and I appreciate all the comments, guys. Like I said, doing greenhouse, I'm still new to greenhouse, but I've been growing for a long time. I heard, do not put your green beans in a container. You want to sow directly in the ground or sow into the container that you are planning to use, because we have to do container gardens here where we're at. All the other, I hate to say it, YouTubers that I watch that actually do container gardens, backyard gardens, everything, even green beans, they start in cells. They start in a cell. This is just a giant cell, and then they take the whole thing out and plant. If they're putting in the ground or larger containers, they've not had any issues. I have never grown green beans out of a container yet. First time trying. I'm gonna go with this. The results I see them do, it's pretty amazing. So I'm gonna give it a shot. This peas, and theirs actually turned out very well. This one here started at the same time, but it's struggling a little bit. Might need to get some more light. Lima beans, there they are. I freaking love lima beans. They just came up. We've got a green bean bush coming up. These are tomatoes down here. Of course, those will get thinned out as well. lettuce coming up. Okra just popped up. I started seeing it last night. Looks like they finally made it through the surface. That's pretty awesome. My cucumber plants, they're all doing good. When I was doing my compost, and I'll take you to the compost bin here in a minute, compost is doing pretty good, but I had noticed that some of the beans that we throw organic stuff in there, no meat, just vegetation, stuff like that. But I had a bad batch of limas. I mean, I'm not limas, lentils, and red kidney beans had a whole bunch of weevils in it because I didn't freeze the beans, and I went to go mylar them up, and I'm like, oh crap, this isn't good. So I actually tossed these things in the compost, and it was about a week later they started sprouting. So yeah, I just started transplanting out of the compost bin. This is red kidney beans. Limas, that's the red kidney bean that hasn't come up yet. Yeah, just pulled them right out of the compost and started using them. This is our onions. I don't like onions. My wife loves onions. They actually hurt my ulcers, so I don't actually eat onion, but wife loves them, so we're growing them there. Corn. I freaking love corn. I know a lot of people say there's no nutritional value in corn. You can do a lot of things with corn, and corn does have a lot of nutrition. This stuff here we're gonna have to transplant soon. I've got to build the frame for a container garden for these things, because they need to be spaced out correctly. I probably should have done cups to begin with, and it would just be easier to transfer these, because I had a container, went for it, so we got 27 plants out of 28. Number 28 never did grow there. Don't know why, but not a bad germination, 27 out of 28. But we're gonna have to do something pretty soon on those. Moving on, of course, eggplant came up, tomatoes, broccoli, watermelon. Watermelon came up. Also got some cantaloupe too. Our carrots. This is probably way too small of a container. This is something I'm trying. I have never had luck growing carrots, even in the ground. This is something I'm playing around with. Obviously, you don't want to be too tight or like this. You'd have to thin it out. But, yeah, that's an experiment right there. Spinach. We do not have a very good germination rate on the spinach. The plants that have come up are doing great. But I seeded this very well, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of like half a pack of seeds. So that did not germinate very well. More green beans, tomatoes, green beans. Experiment with. I'm going to try removing these here in a bit and putting their own containers as well. And we got some lettuce here. Those are able to get thinned out. I got two different types of lettuce. One comes up in a tight head. The other ones are more loose leaf lettuce. I like those a lot because I can just clip off what I need. So, yes, like I said, our compost is coming along. This is the new batch we got. You'll see a lot of beans and stuff like that in there. I think I actually put rice in here too. It's just mostly table scraps. We did have some issues with mylaring up some food. I got late as far as getting it frozen and stuff, and we had a weevil problem. So all that stuff, instead of going to the trash, went into the compost. So like you see, guys, always doing something. I do want to encourage you guys. I'm no expert. I'm just using what experience I have in this stuff and the stuff I'm researching. I've got a great community here that's full of useful information. I pick your brains all the time, especially with greenhousing. Never done it. Everything seems to be doing pretty well. Really does. Yeah, sorry about the compost bin. Ooh, yeah, that's some nasty stuff. But compost, guys, we mix up all kind of different stuff in there. It's organic. We use cardboard, tore down. Make sure you get the tape off. yard clippings, even all the dry leaves I had out here when our sycamore dumped all over the yard. I ran it over with a mower, kind of I made a mulch out of it, added that. Our organics, we put a little bit of soil in there to help with the micro breakdown process and stuff. Make sure you got it vented good on the top, holes drilled out for water. You got to make sure you water that, stir it up. Does it have a stench when you're stirring? Yes. But using organic compost, I've done, when I say organic compost, I hate using that word, natural foliage, you know, vegetation, vegetable compost, there's a smell. But it's a lot less than if you start throwing meat in these things. Oh dear God, they reek. So we tried that years ago with throwing table scraps, chicken, you know, whatever's left over. I don't recommend that. It reeks. It's just go with vegetation. Seems to work pretty well. The plants seem to like it. But yeah, I just want to encourage you guys as much as possible. There's all kind of different ways of doing this stuff. Again, up cost, you know, getting started was not cheap. It's still only a few $100s that I put in this. Now, a few $100s is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But this should last several years. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. And if it don't, well, 96 bucks for that. You know, I can come up with another $100 within a year. I'm sure I can. And to me, it'd be worth it. Again, we're doing a lot of planning, and I'm fixing to get another table in here. We're going to be running some more of these cups, load it down, because we actually have a market here that people actually buy plants, vegetable garden plants, because they don't grow from seed. They just go buy the plant and then they plant it in their garden. So, and that market is right there on Marketplace on Facebook. I know most people don't like Facebook, but hey, if I can make an income on what I'm doing here to help offset that initial cost, something you guys should look at. All right, you can also do sprouts and stuff in your home. You don't have to have a greenhouse, but you can do it inside your home. You can still sell, you know, make a little extra income for preps and stuff like that. Really, always try to look at things differently, not on how much I can make money off something, but what I need to do, sacrifice whatever to get more preps back. And that's the way I look at it. Do I plan on making a nursery business? No. But then again, hey, who knows? All right, guys, appreciate you hanging out with me today. I have got to get some more of these cups, and we're gonna get a table in here. Probably gonna have to build it because I got all that lumber. I still got to take a lot of nails out of some of that lumber. Build a frame up a table there, get some more of these cups out, and start growing some more. All right, guys, talk to y'all later.